when you get a job in a kitchen in the States, as a, let's say as a help in the kitchen, you don't have any rank in the kitchen. Most of the time, they have recipes that have already been created for that restaurants and the way they do their things. So if you have to do something, you actually have a recipe, what you go by, and everything you read. And if you know how to, if you have the knowledge of food, it's so easy to make that stuff. Hey, what's up, boss?
How are you?
Karibu county to county.
Yeah, asante sana. Karibu Kenya, bana.
Asante, yeah.
It's barely 5 weeks since Ricky Ngige landed in Kenya after a 16-year stay in the United States. Ricky is a gourmet chef and is back in the country to open a new bar and grill restaurant in Westlands, Nairobi by the name County to County. And it is not the first time for Ricky to run such a business. While in the States, he owned Vista Lounge in Boston.
First of all, you had to get something called Server Safe. Server Safe is a license they give you. You have to go through a training, which takes about, I think, 4 days. You go through, it's about sanitizing, sanitation of the kitchen, cleanness, knowing your products, what you cannot mix with what cannot cross each other, and self-hygiene too. It's a course you take, and you have to have that license. And after every 5 years, you have to renew it, and you have to go through some training too again. Like you go through just a refresher course. They see you know what you're doing and everything. And you have to have it displayed in your restaurant.
Ricky has worked at various restaurants across the US, including Moonstones in Massachusetts and even Africa Fusion in Dallas. But how exactly did he end up in the US?
I played the lottery, the green card lottery, where I won the first time, but I didn't go to the States. I was happy here, I was enjoying my time here. My mom pushed me to do it because it was like every mothers were like, there's this lottery thing, people are going to the States, they're getting opportunities out there. So she made me do it the first time. I had everything here, so I was going to college, I was working for my mom. I mean, life was easy, so I didn't see what was there for me that time.
However, a few years later, the opportunity presented itself again. But this time round, Ricky did not let it go to waste.
I did it the second time where I won it. It was the second time to win it. So that's the time they called me from the embassy and they asked me, not so many people win this twice, so what's happening with you? Do you want to go or you want to stay? In my mind, I was like, there's something for me out there. You don't win it twice. It's very hard.
With that, in November of 2004, Ricky was in the USA. But it was only a matter of time before the harsh reality of life abroad dawned on him.
I expected a lot. All these things that we see, like back in my time, there was a lot of music videos, the MTV and stuff. That's what I was expecting to see when I got there. But it's far away from that. All this stuff is staged, it's, hypes and stuff. So after I landed, I stayed for about 2 weeks before they process your paperwork so you can get your working papers and everything. So let's say about 3 weeks, I got everything. So I started applying for jobs. I had not done a job in my life where I was told to clean floors, clean toilets. So it was a bit challenging for me and I quit the first week. And I went home and I told my brother, I didn't come here to clean floors, I need to do something else. Like, this is not me, And he was like, then you have to figure out what to do because this is where everybody starts. You have to make some money, you have to pay for your phone bill, you have to get a cell phone and stuff, you have to pay for your bill. So this is where you start. Everybody does that. And then after I stayed home for about 2 weeks, I came back to my senses and I was like, you know what, I need to start making this money.
After working as a cleaner and gas station attendant, Ricky also worked as a pickup truck driver before rediscovering his passion for the culinary arts.
Since I was a kid, we had like 2 house helps. And most of the time with the house help, I was always in the kitchen. For some reason, I just wanted to learn about everything they were doing in the kitchen. And I also love food. So I had to know how it's made and, that's how I got my passion, I think. Out of curiosity of just trying to be in the kitchen, trying to find out how this food is made. So there's a restaurant in Atlanta that was being owned by a guy from West Africa. I just went for tryouts. I told him, you have a kitchen, people come out here but they don't have food. So he gave me the kitchen to start cooking there. And that's why actually my career kind of started. Could make a goosey ogbono soup. There's a type of fish that they have, a tilapia, that is marinated and grilled on the charcoal grill. I used to make a cheke. A cheke is a kind of a cassava that they eat it with their meals. It's like our ugali, but to them it's a cassava, but it's kind of like couscous. What else? Obviously the fufu, yeah, and the pepper soup.
Armed with this knowledge of various cuisines, Ricky eventually opened his own restaurant in 2013.
One of my friends called me from Boston and said, over here, we have a very large Kenyan community, but we do not have a restaurant. So he invited me once to go check out the place. So I went and checked out the place. We found a small place that could hold a nice kitchen. It was being used as a Spanish kitchen, but that closed down. So I thought about it and I said, you know what, I'll take it.
His menu not only comprised African dishes but also popular American dishes. He was indeed flourishing and living the American dream, but the dream was short-lived.
I had an issue with the landlord, and the landlord wanted to sell the place, the whole building with the restaurant and everything. But at the moment I could not be able to afford it. So what he did is he got an Asian guy who bought the place, and I stayed there. He gave me some time to stay there until a couple of months.
So Ricky began planning to relocate back home and establish his restaurant business here, a decision that was not too difficult for him.
I wanted to come back to Kenya. This is my place. I just love Kenya so much. So I've always had that thing that I really need to do something for them in Kenya. That's why I decided to come and do this here. The idea was actually just starting a nice place, a restaurant. And I shared with a couple of friends. And I met two old friends. One is called Henry Wawero and Sam Karaoke. All these guys are with them in the States. Henry was in Dallas. I met him in Dallas. Sam was in Boston.
Currently, they employ about 25 people and the restaurant can sit a maximum of 80 customers.
It's a full-flight restaurant. We have 3 grilling stations. We have the local nyama choma, but it has a twist to it. It's just not your regular nyama choma. A different kind of taste through the different kind of marinations. We have a breakfast kitchen for morning for the guys from the offices around here. And there's also rooms upstairs. So we usually do breakfast for them. Thursdays we have a band that comes in and plays country music. So we usually have a nice crowd that comes in the evening for the band. And Fridays we have a karaoke by Sanepei.
Despite being 4 weeks old, business is booming. But Ricky does admit that setting up shop here was difficult compared to the United States.
It's not like, everything you apply is all straight. It comes the same day. It doesn't take a lot of time. They come in, they do a checkup. The officers from the city come in, they do a checkup. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of stuff to open a kitchen in the States. And compared to here, when it comes to maybe like things like stocking the kitchen and stuff, over there we have a place called Restaurant Depot. Restaurant Depot is where people who own restaurants shop. It's like a one-stop for everything in the restaurant. So you don't have to go for the mama for Sokoni, get stuff for Sokoni. You call the butcher guy to get stuff from the butchery. Everything is under one roof. So you just walk in with a big trolley, pick up your stuff, buy and bring it back to work. So everything there, they make it easy for you.
It is for this reason that Ricky is grateful for daring abroad, since he is now able to use his experience in the United States to improve the quality of service back home.
Like when I came in, the people that I talked to, like the first people that I was interviewing, they did not have this knowledge of prepping. Like they would say, like someone would order French fries and they'd go start peeling a potato right then and make it. So you see, it takes about half an hour, maybe to at least 45 minutes to make a plate of French fries. So I've trained them, I've shown them how to do prepping for the day. For the guys who come in the morning, So, okay, so we have two shifts. The guys who come in the morning, they find their things prepped by the guys who left at night. And before the morning guys leave, they have to make sure they prep for the guys who are coming in for the second shift. So you don't have to be running in the kitchen like, bumping into each other, trying to do things in a hurry because nobody prepped for the other. So another thing is about service and the time that the food comes out. I'm trying to minimize it into 15 minutes of any a la carte that you order.
Ricky says he is confident that in time the business will grow exponentially, and if the first few weeks are anything to go by, it's only a matter of time until county to county bar and grill is the talk of the town. And when I asked about his plans for the future,
I want my restaurants to be out there all over. That is what I'm hoping for. Hoping to change the scenario of how people think about different kind of cultures and food by creating food that is infusion of the Western countries and the African food.
Ricky believes that without daring in the US, he would not be the man he is today.
It has shaped me to understand so many things in life that I used to take for granted. When you come back here, you look at people, the way they're living and everything. Sometimes you appreciate the kind of opportunities that you have when you go out there.
And this is his advice to all those thinking of daring abroad on our Diaspora Bite.
They should not be afraid of going out there. There's a lot of exposure out there, a lot of exposure. There's so many things to learn. So many things to learn. I know people who come from here. They were maybe a matatu driver or a tout or, just any other ordinary person. And right now they're billionaires, they're millionaires. I have personal friends that I know who've made it from that. So there's a lot of opportunity out there.